If you're here, you know this is Bodies and Beyond. This particular episode, we are focusing on ending gender-based violence against women, girls, and men. We have an expert on my left, and we have Kibe. Flustered, but we'll go with it. So I'll let everyone introduce themselves because this pretty lady can say her name by herself.
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh.
Hi, so my name is Florence Hawino.
Yeah.
I work for a think tank called KHRC.
Okay.
Now, at KHRC, we focus on ICT policy and regulation,
Yeah.
and we work with individuals and institutions who are interested in that line of work.
Yeah.
So together, we work to catalyze the ICT reforms in Kenya. And we try to expand that effect into Africa as a whole, as a continent. So we work under 4 pillars. The first one is we do policy advocacy, we do research, we do capacity building. That is, we train people on various facets of the internet. For example, internet governance, where we run the Kenya School of Internet Governance. We do workshops on online gender-based violence. We train people on those things. And then we also do what we call multi-stakeholder engagement, where we host something called the Africa Tech Policy Summit. One of the things we discuss is the digital violence, of course, and other issues around tech, around ICT policy as a whole. We also have something called a mailing list, where every day we discuss issues of ICT policy in the country. Yes.
How about you, Kibe?
Well, hello guys. My name is Adrian Kibe. I work with the Kenya Human Rights Commission as the program lead for sexual and gender minorities. But for this particular conversation today, I'll be focused on gender-based violence, particularly in the technological sense. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you guys for joining us. My first question is to Florence. What does digital violence actually mean?
All right, so we don't just dive into the term by itself as a whole to call it digital violence because it's such a wide spectrum. So to be able to narrow it down and have a hold on what it is, we are going to call it technology facilitated gender-based violence, or TFGBV. Just
that
to
technology facilitated
gender-based violence. So TFGBV.
So
after saying it that way, we can now define it as any act that is committed by or assisted by, made worse by, or amplified by.
So the aspect, it's
assisted, committed by, assisted by, made worse by, or amplified by any form of information communication technologies or ICTs. In a way that it can result into psychological harm, economical harm, financial harm, political harm, or violates any other human rights that's given to you by the Kenya Constitution. That is online violence.
That's online violence.
So you see, we can't just dive into it by itself like that. It's such a wide spectrum, but we need to define it exclusively in a way that the laws of Kenya can also come in and enforce it in a certain way. So when I bring in the gendered aspect, because of the way online violence is experienced and reported, it's experienced along gender lines. It's experienced when people are usually getting attacked because of their gender, because of their sexuality, because of their affiliations, their whatever ethnicity they belong to. Those are the lines of which somebody experiences online violence. So that's why we have to gender it. We have to gender it. So I have to also bring a disclaimer in the fact that when we say gender, we don't exclude the boy child. That's a question that often comes. Because now, when we say gender, people assume that we mean women and girls. But gender, gender is meant. So I have to give that disclaimer.
That's very important.
Yes. And then now we have done studies, we've done a lot of research as KHRC on online violence. And then we found that men are more often the perpetrators of violence and women are more often the victims. But the roles can be reversed. Men can also be victims, women can also be perpetrators. Yes. So, but the thing is, the focus mostly is on women because they experience it more than men. It's not an error showing the experiences of women, but it's highlighting where the problem is.
Okay. What are the most common forms?
Common forms we have witnessed. Actually, it's very funny. It's funny but harmful.
Yeah.
When you talk about the Kenyan culture of kutuma salamu, sending greetings, that's actually a form of violence called doxxing.
Isn't that youth activism?
Yes.
It's not activism?
No. There is a way that it happens. Let me take you back.
Yeah.
If you used Facebook back in the days, there used to be a group called Buyer Beware.
Yeah.
Do you remember it?
Yeah.
So when you apparently defrauded somebody, they will come to Buyer Beware and then post your number, then people will send you a lot of messages, and then you had no option but to pay back. But there were instances when people had a vendetta against someone, and then they go there with the lies and say, this person defrauded me, which may not have been the case. So this person is going to get a lot of harassment from people.
Yeah.
That's doxing. That used to happen until the admin of that Facebook group got into trouble and changed the policy that you have to get an OB before you post somebody's. Yeah.
So apart from doxing, which other one?
So apart from doxing, we also have something called cyberbullying.
Yeah.
If you go to TikTok right now, we are most likely to come across a scandal happening. But when you look at what people call scandals, it's actually a cyberbullying case. Somebody is saying some mean things about somebody else, or even on X, it's called the main character syndrome. Main character day, where people are just somebody's going through a very difficult time, where people are just insulting him and saying mean things. A lot of people are doing that. And then we also have body shaming. We've witnessed a lot of that because as we have something called online gender-based violence tracker, where every day we collect cases of online violence we've seen in Kenya and map it so that we track the prevalence by the types, who is happening to, how often, which platform. So trolling is one of them, body shaming also. Women, any woman posting a photo on Twitter has to have a very thick skin because oh my God, it's such a hateful platform.
It's a very hateful.
Yeah, you just post your pictures on Instagram or TikTok, you'll be fine. But X, why will you do that to yourself?
So you're like X is the no-go zone.
Oh my God. So it's so terrible, man. And then we have trolling. Trolling is so common. It happens to, say, politicians. Someone like Esther Passaris gets trolled on a daily basis. But some people say it's justified, but there's a way you can hold somebody accountable without trolling them. And also, I've also seen something called online mob. When you pay bots. Or
that's a new one.
Or you pay bloggers and they go to make a lot of negative comments on somebody's post. It happens around the election period, or it happens when someone who has a lot of influence is being maybe exposed for something, and then they want to dilute that information. So they pay a bunch of accounts to now go and make the opposite comments of what they're being accused of. Just to try to dilute the impact of what they're being accused of, something like that. And lastly, we don't forget AI. AI has entered the scene, and we observe that it's very easy to create nude pictures. You post a picture of yourself and somebody removes your clothes, or you're a man and somebody feminizes you. Like now you're wearing a brand, a pant all of a sudden, and then they call you. It happened to Kimani Ichung'wah.
I remember Kimani Ichung'wah. When they do this thing with their voice, they think they do with the DP where his voice now sounds more feminine, For Kibe, my question is there a gap between policy and practice when it comes to online violence, online abuse?
So Kenya has taken very progressive steps to tackle sexual exploitation and abuse across physical and digital spaces. with various policies and laws.
Yeah.
This includes the Sexual Offences Act, though it's still behind to be updated.
Yeah.
The Counter-Trafficking in Persons Act and the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act.
Yeah.
This was the one that was
the one that's the very
contentious one.
The contentious one.
Yeah. So, but even with this, we've also ratified international and regional instruments, including the Maputo Protocol and the Palermo Protocol. And this obligates the state to protect women and girls from exploitation and abuse. But these legal systems are still rooted in outdated versions, in terms of outdated definitions of abuse. And sometimes this means they treat online and offline harms as separate.
Yeah.
And so the enforcement also remains very weak and fragmented. And so national laws haven't really kept pace with emerging technological issues like Florence was mentioning, such as artificial intelligence, the deep fakes, algorithm targeting, and they don't also adequately recognize how online violence can ultimately mean harm,
translate
or physical violence as well to the person. So we are still very far, is what I would say, and more needs to be done so that the victims or the survivors are well taken care of.
Oh yeah, there really is a gap, because I think even in acknowledging itself, it looks like a young people problem.
Yes.
But right now with politicians, you see, they're getting, they have, from what Florence has said, they have the version of, and for someone else, I would think that is not online violence. If I'm doing my activism work, wakisema niende nisalimie chungwa, I just get in and salimie chungwa, in a way I don't see it as violence, but it counts as violence. So maybe in the small ways we should not only restrict it when it happens to a particular group. It should be like when it happens to everyone. My next question is for Florence. Are there platforms, social media platforms, that should render safer than others, and which ones would you recommend?
Okay, that's very interesting. Of course, we know there are levels to the toxicity. As a Kenyan social media user.
I don't think we know. Yes, it's like from the outside, we are consumers, so we might not know the way you know it. So there are levels to it.
There are levels to it. There are levels to the amount of harassment you will face on one platform as compared to the others. There are levels to the strictness of enforcement of community guidelines. For example, on TikTok, you cannot use certain ones. Someone does not even have to report that you have used certain ones or made certain content. It will just be removed automatically. It will be flagged automatically. That's why you find people on TikTok inventing new words like unalived, or using
Grape.
They use emojis for, that level of enforcement is very, very high. So you are likely not to have people just blatantly harassing you, And on X, with the change in the regime from Twitter to X, now we saw that there have been lapses in the way they enforce. And in fact, the algorithm has pushed forward more harmful content like the red pill content. People like Andrew Tate and other creators like that.
Incel propaganda.
Especially the manosphere, incel culture. And we are very worried about the impact to the Kenyan youth, especially college boys who are very easily influenced. I think it has played a role into Kenya's femicide crisis because of the perception of women, it has influenced that violence. And of course now, I feel like the use of Facebook or Meta is going down. Many youngsters have shifted from that platform. Now that platform is mostly for the Gen X, the boomers. So the level of violence in there is very hard to measure also because of the way Facebook is structured. You have to follow people to be able to see their posts. So you don't just get a random post, unlike TikTok,
like TikTok, you can just end up on someone else's page. On Facebook, you have to curate, you have to follow the certain people, and the privacy settings are different.
So you can actually filter what you experience on Facebook.
So Facebook would be the safest bet.
If you actually use it.
Yes.
But I haven't talked about Instagram. Wait. I haven't talked about Instagram because Instagram usually gets the rap as, being utopia.
Yes,
It's people there, butterflies and rainbows, but we also have those gossip bloggers who post information about people. So if you find yourself on the wrong side of Instagram, I will say you pick what you can handle, but I will say without any doubt that X is the most toxic. TikTok also is kind of toxic.
Yeah.
But enforcement is there. However, I will say Instagram is relatively safer and Facebook because the toxic people don't even use it that much. People have shifted to other more exciting platforms.
They have their own level of toxicity. They have the old people just. How would you classify social media platforms in terms of safety? By your own test, we have an expert who has told us.
I'm the worst to ask because I'm on only 2 platforms. I think I'm on X and Instagram.
Yeah,
So,
you're on the most harmful one.
and the one that people are apparently saying safer. I think on Instagram people are a little bit more friendly, more warm. On X, you could literally say something nice on X and people will still go at you.
They'll just find something.
Yeah, like na unakaa jimbo unasema hivyo, out of nowhere. Maybe you're speaking about like legit things or genuine things, or you could ask someone a question genuinely.
Una post shamba hapo.
Unauliza kwa nini?
Mbona post shamba hapo hapa?
And someone says, I've just looked through your profile. You just look like the question you asked.
Wow.
So I wouldn't know which one is safest, but I would say Instagram.
Why did you choose your 2? Or it's just
X? Because I sometimes I follow very I want to say very intelligent people, but they know I follow them, so I don't want them to feel themselves. Okay. But I follow very interesting people.
Let's say interesting.
I still call it Twitter. Funny.
It's Twitter. We're always going to call it that. And
then on Instagram, because Instagram is fun. I find my algorithm on Instagram gives me more funnier content. So one is for gossip time, the other one is for serious conversations.
So Florence, do you feel like companies, digital providers, like these companies behind social media platforms, do you feel like they're doing enough to protect the average person who uses the social media platform?
I feel like they try.
Yeah.
Because when you sign up for any social media platform, I know we don't read it, but there are terms and conditions.
We just like, yes.
Yeah, just agree.
Yes, like, I just want to join Instagram.
There are also community guidelines.
Yeah.
So those things that we don't read, they list the acceptable and unacceptable conduct on the platform. They also tell you that you cannot harass anybody on the basis of their gender, on the basis of sexuality, which is what online gender-based violence is. They prohibit those. They prohibit certain kinds of content. They prohibit grooming of minors. They have very clear policies on what you can and what you cannot do on those platforms. Yeah. So I feel like that's the first step of trying to protect the users of their platforms. And the second thing is that as long as a content is reported and it violates the guidelines, they will take it down. They may even ban that user from the platform. And other tech companies have very strict enforcement. Like we mentioned TikTok, they already have a preset terms that will be flagged the moment you use them. People don't have to report.
Oh, so you say something,
it's gone.
Yeah.
Because you have violated the community guidelines. You have violated the terms of use of the platform by using this term. That's why if you are maybe a content creator who is making money off this platform, you have to read the terms of use of that platforms to see what they accept and what they don't accept.
Oh, so it's important to read.
it is important to change our mindset that these terms and conditions are not for us, but that you have to. Yeah. So I feel like they try, but there are also gaps in the enforcement. For example, as in Kenya, we use so many languages. So somebody can insult you in maybe Kikuyu language, but the algorithms, the AI systems that maybe TikTok users do not know Kikuyu. There are over 60 languages in Kenya. So if somebody commits violence against you in any of those languages, any of these social media platforms, even if you report it, they will have such a hard time figuring out whether this is actually a violation of their terms or community guidelines and so on and so forth. So in that, after having seen that, as our think tank, we decided to explore this problem a little bit. So we created a glossary of languages in 6 terms in 6 Kenyan languages, Kikuyu, Luya, Ateso, Luo, and then we compiled the terms of usage, things like kugongewa, pochi, if somebody...
But they come up with new ones every other day.
Every other day. But now, that's the problem we're facing when we're compiling these terms of languages that are being used to perpetuate violence. But we need to have an example of some sort of what's existing. And then we approached TikTok, actually. We told TikTok that, these are some of the languages that we observe people using to perpetuate violence, but your systems do not detect them. So can we just take this data that we have and train our algorithms to be better?
To pick
them up. So that's some of the things we are trying as our own individual efforts, and we can also encourage other people to try that.
Is that way to submit, like if a word has been used against me and I find it violating, is there a way for me to report that word or to submit it? Is there like an open list or? Yeah,
fortunately there's a straightforward process. Whenever you have to report or flag something, you just have to click a button. It's very easy.
But that part is easy. But I'm like, if it's a word that is new.
That's new, you just have to describe it to them. Or our lexicon is project, we call it our lexicon project. It's open source. You can just work with Geekternet, you can work with us, and then we can create this glossary of terms, because this work is ongoing and it's a community effort. It's not limited to us only. We don't know everything that's ongoing. So when everybody chips in, even our online gender-based violence tracker is open source. If you see somebody being insulted somewhere,
you can report.
Just report. We also have a WhatsApp number that you can just submit the link of that offensive post.
Which I think we'll have to share because it's a very important conversation.
I'll share. So the WhatsApp number, we just send the link and then we will pick it up. So this is part of our efforts to just try to make online platforms safer for Kenyans. For content moderation to be culturally relevant. Because the language that we use in Kenya is not the same as the one that's used to enforce this.
Kibe, have you been involved in campaigns against online gender-based violence or things of that sort?
So I said I work for the Kenya Human Rights Commission, and we work on all issues of human rights. And so definitely, as we do our work on gender-based violence, we have definitely been interacting with programs on technology-facilitated gender-based violence. And it's sessions such as this that we engage in, but also encourage other young people to come on board and engage in as well. And these have been effective. In a number of ways. First of all, when awareness is created in terms of how to report, like what Florence is telling us, we realize that there's a gap with information. Young people, we think we know everything, but we really don't.
And they're like,
people like Florence are saying, kusalimiwa isn't all that you think it is, So awareness creation is a very big part of this, and the more people learn, the more. If now I know that kusalimiwa is bad, perhaps I will think twice before I do it, or I'll not do it at all.
Or you tell someone else, I don't think that is a form of bullying, online bullying.
And the other thing is things like hotlines and the way some NGOs provide like psychosocial support to persons. That has worked and has been effective. Youth campaigns have also been able to reduce stigma and mobilize bystander support. Like I've seen a number of times where people will come to the defense of a person when they see things are wrong. Like on Kimani Ichung'wah, I saw a number of people commenting and saying, while we do not agree with him and what he's doing, this still doesn't sit right with us. This still is wrong, you know. That's the successful part. But where they fall short, some of these programs that we do, where they fall short is that, you know, as civil society organizations and as people on the other side, we cannot replace criminal investigations and platform accountability. And so we can only do so much. You know, awareness creation can only get us so far. There needs to be more that is done, especially on the state side and also on the side of these platforms like X and Instagram and the likes.
There's so much you've shared, so much good information. I'm curious. I'm like, how does it trickle down? Like, I'm hearing it for the first time because I'm here. How does it trickle down to the normal youth? You know, someone is using the internet, they're just using the internet for enjoyment, you know. But like, how do they know there should be laws that protect them and they might be, you know, violating other people's rights by the small, sometimes it comes off as comedy. It's just a small thing I said, you know. So how do we disseminate the information that this might be dangerous or you have been violated? Some people don't even know they've been violated.
Well, that's actually work that we do every day. It's ongoing for sure, because now you have to disseminate this information in groups. You have to first isolate the people who are targeted the most, the women and the girls, and you know, inform them first. So we usually hold workshops. We call these OGBV training, OGBV workshops. Now that the time has changed from OGBV to TFGBV, that's evolving as well as technology evolves. So we've disseminated it to the women impacted, to law enforcement, by the way, because at some point, this violence escalates offline. Something that starts online can escalate offline. So you have to also educate the law enforcement on how to deal with it. We disseminate the law enforcement. The judicial officers, by the way, hold these discussions with them. We go where they are. And we also do research. Now you have to actually study how this violence happens, to whom.
How it affects them.
Yes, how it affects them. And you know, a lot of the time we focus on high visibility individuals like journalists, politicians, influencers. But the ordinary Kenyan who is just going about their business is also getting affected by violence on a daily basis. Just a random person on X, just a random person on TikTok is also targeted and is also affected in the same way. That's why, that's the importance of research, so that we find out where there is a blind spot in the data that we're collecting, a blind spot in the studies that we're doing. So a combination of capacity building, research, and also, of course, the policy makers also have to be engaged, because they are the ones who make these laws. We have ended in a scenario where the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act, the one that was gazetted in 2018, there are aspects of it that can be used to prosecute criminal defamation. But unfortunately for us, the amendment did not amplify on that, but instead it went ahead and focused on prosecuting people who were dissenting against the government. So you see, this is why we have to also take this gospel to policymakers and tell them that, you know, this is a real problem. Using the data from the research that we found, just to back up our claims and our requests, and tell, you know, we are not just talking out of nowhere. This is the information, this is the data that we have.
Is your data out there? Is it accessible?
Exactly. So it's a multi-stakeholder effort. People from different sectors, different stakeholders just have to tackle this problem together through different methods, whatever you can do. Even who do the innovators, the techies now, they can design safer products. safety by design. They can consider the implementing aspects of the Kenya Data Protection Act. Just to also have guidelines on how people can use their platforms. So, because you don't just design something for,
I get it.
People can download people's photos, even creators of AI have now banned, even Grok now been banned from replying to requests that asks it to undress somebody or remove their clothes, or ChatGPT cannot generate porn. So those are some of the safety by design features that we have to.
I love that we're getting to a point where the things being implemented.
Exactly.
Yeah. If they're saying ChatGPT can no longer generate, that is a good thing. We're making steps. For Kibe, this is my last question for you.
Yes.
Do you think is there hope that we might have safer online spaces?
Absolutely. And it starts with conversations such as this one.
Yeah.
Because the more you know, the more you move from a point of knowledge.
Most people, most young people, most women, girls, and even young men don't know where to report and how to protect themselves. So first of all, what are some of the ways in which you can report online violence, or some of the steps you can take to report online violence?
Okay, so practical steps to protect yourself when you're facing online violence or harassment. So the first thing is you must prioritize your safety. Like if you feel like you are in actual danger or physical harm's way, the first thing is to ensure that you protected yourself. So if you need to call for the cops or stuff like that, go ahead. The second thing would be to document what is happening. Take screenshots, save the links that are there, note usernames that are attacking you, screenshots, all that, and then secure it safely in a folder, offline preferably, or to a safe server. And then the third thing is report. Every platform that you're using has a reporting mechanism. So try the best to make sure that you report whatever is going on. And then also get support. We underestimate how much this violence that is online affects our
someone
mental health.
in person.
Yes. So you might think, it's all fun and games and but it can take a toll on you. So also ensure that
it's even belittled. It's like, why would you feel bad about that? It's a comment.
So make sure that you also get that kind of a support. And lastly, if you can, report to the police.
If you can
report to the police. And then it's also important to reach out to their civil society organizations that are working on these issues. And I know I'm happy to have met Florence, because I've been seeing the beautiful work that you guys are doing. So there are organizations that you can report these things to. Then
is there hope? Do you think?
Yes.
Do you think there is hope for a safer space online?
There's definitely hope, and it is spaces.
Is there?
I am an optimist. My friends have accused me of being overly optimistic, but I definitely think that there is hope. Conversations such as this are opening the space up for people to have conversations. There's also a growing civil society. We have
Florence
doing the thing, as well as other young people forming organizations and speaking up on these issues, and so that gives me hope. There's also a leadership in the young leadership and influencers talking about these issues, people opening up on the effect of this kind of violence. Recently I saw, I don't know if the audience might know, Shiko Muriuki.
Yes, I saw that post.
And she was saying how she was affected by being called, a red thigh thing, after she was experiencing grief, how that took a toll on her. So this kind of conversations are what is giving me hope.
It's funny, even Willis was included in that, and Willis was saying how one time he was going on set, and then he dropped fire emojis or something, then someone said you should use that fire to burn
your fat.
And then, it's like, people say unhinged stuff. And then you think it doesn't affect someone because, they're behind the camera, they look happy, they look jovial. It's banter.
And lastly, there's what gives me hope is young people are the ones who are most affected by this thing.
Yeah.
With
we'll
youth,
find solutions.
With youth comes innovation.
Yeah.
And so they've said that they have a digital tracker. I know that there are a number of organizations doing things that are similar. So that gives me hope. And lastly, there's more international solidarity and awareness on this issue. So it means that we are holding hands together.
Yeah.
We're trying to resolve this issue. So.
Okay. So for Florence, I've asked him a question about ways to protect yourself, sort of, or ways to report. Now, for you, I'm going to ask you ways to protect yourself, but on particular platforms. I'm like on X, what is the best way to protect yourself? On Instagram, what is going to be the best way to protect yourself? Or on Facebook?
Okay, so the same way you can protect yourself on X, Instagram is the same way. I mean, it's the same across platforms. You can practice what we call cyber hygiene practices, you know. So these are a set of practices, a set of routines that you can implement across all your social media platforms. So, for example, you can limit the audience that sees your post on Instagram. You can limit the audience that sees your post on Facebook. You can also decide to maybe limit who sees your post on X as well, though that will limit your reach. But the risk there, if you've seen the risk, if you are susceptible to that kind of bullying or harassment, you can consider that. You can also limit your audience on TikTok. All social media platforms have that provision, so you can take that. And as a personal responsibility, you have to limit the amount of intimate and personal information you share with the public. Of course, people can't attack you on the basis of what they don't know. You know? People won't use AI to manipulate your nude photos if you don't post them there. People won't have nude photos to share. Although it's not you to blame, there's an element of personal responsibility into the amount of information you share with the public as well. So I would also like to just encourage social media users to use two-factor authentication, because people breach people's accounts and post all sorts of nonsense that you will never have posted if you have control of your account. So that's also an aspect of cyber hygiene. And make sure that you are not the person who is doing some cyberbullying of the other person. Make sure you're not the person who is calling somebody fat, shapeless, or inventing new words to insult someone. Yeah, don't be a perpetrator of online violence in any capacity.
Thank you guys for staying with us this far, for watching, if you're listening, for listening. In completing, I want to also thank the guys from the Kenya Human Rights Commission and then Kenya ICT for showing up and teaching us. There's been a lot of lessons today. In finishing, we're going to do a pledge, right? Now, my pledge is I am going to pledge to not interact with any account that spreads hate. Over to you, Kibe.
I pledge to be kind in all my online interactions, and to encourage those around me to also be kind.
Okay, Florence.
I'm blessed to share the gospel on fighting online gender-based violence, and also blessed to design solutions to fight this vice together.
So yeah, you guys want to see your pledges in the comments, pledges or ways in which you might help in fighting this. And yeah, thank you guys for watching.